बंदना हरे बंदना बंदना हरे बंदना गुण गाओ गोपाल राय गुण गाओ गोपाल राय बंदना हरे बंदना बंदना हरे बंदना गुण गाओ गोपाल राय गुण गाओ गोपाल राय गुण गाओ गुण गाओ गुण गाओ गुण गाओ गुण गाओ गुण गाओ बंदना हरे बंदना बंदना हरे बंदना गुण गाओ गोपाल राय गुण गाओ गोपाल राय
तेरी मेर दा बोलना तुदे आगे अरदास गुरु गुरु वाहे गुरु गुरु रामदास आद गुरे नमे जुगाद गुरे नमे सत गुरे नमे श्री गुरुदेव नमः वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Prayer in Sikh term has a very special meaning, and I'll just expound certain areas. I'm not trying to explain to you, or I'm not trying to accept your admiration of the situation that I happens to be so and so. I'm trying to explain to you the weakest moment of life and how prayer works and why I'm asking to share with me your concept of prayer, and I'm willing to share my concept of prayer with you. It's not untrue that I was a yogi. It was not untrue that I was a strongly very religious person. And it's not also untrue that I feel the blessing of Guru Ramdas in myself. But I'm not talking all that strength today. I'm talking that most weak moment of life. And now listen to this. I give you the profile. It was third day that I was hungry. And the house I was living was my relative's house. And that night, I called and I said, I hope I'll be coming back soon. She said, come soon to the dinner time, but don't come very late. And when I came, it was late, no doubt about it. The door of the house was closed. There was snow all around. And the person who brought me, she said, can I take you to my house? I said, no, I can't do that. And I had to sleep outside put the car heater on. Do you understand how comfortable that can be? And it was third day that I have not eaten anything whatsoever. The only food in those days for me, which I used to feel safe, was donuts, and there was no decaf, and coffee I do not like, so donut and water was my main diet. But I was surviving. So early in the morning when the door opened, it was about 8 o'clock, I went in. The first thing I wanted to do is take bath, and then I wanted to sit down and meditate. And after that, I went to the kitchen. Black Graham's dal was very well prepared, and I could look at it. The most tastiest food in my worldly world in those days. It's a very rare treat. And I looked at it, and then I found there was a big meat chunk. I have never forgotten that. Never I will. And I knew my relationship that day was not with the earth, and my relative had put in that dal that meat so I cannot eat it. I understood it. How false these relationships are, and how false these emotions are, and how false these people who tell you they love you, and how they insert their personality over your personality. And when you are working for a government and for this earthly business, what they treat you then, and when your love, all told love is for God, how they mistreat you then, I have practically stood that difference. And I looked at dal and looked at that piece of meat. Three thoughts came through me. One was that this meat has been put over the top of it, but half of it is untouched, so half is pure, I can eat. I'm just telling you what went through my mind. Second was that I can take a scoop all this on the top and bottom is perfectly all right, I can eat that. And third is, hell with the whole thing, I can put cereal through it and make perfect and eat it, what matters is the third day I have not eaten a thing. So there was three situations with me. And a thought came to me after that. I said, oh, God has put this piece of meat to let me know I'm not supposed to eat it. It's also attachment. I retired into my basement. I went down and I took my gutka and I wanted to know what Guru wants. It was a hungry day of my life. 3 days for me, hypoglycemic as I was, because I just made up my mind I'm not going to eat donuts anymore. And donuts without coffee don't fit, I'm sorry, it goes together. And I was sick and tired eating those donuts with water. I tried first with hot water, then cold water, nothing works. I was in Canada, I didn't know. And I didn't know how to do my laundry either. So sometimes one shirt will go for 2 weeks. And you know how fussy I am about dress. I'm telling you, this is how God is realized in the practical form. It's a prayer form. I'm just giving you a very concrete example. I went and I opened the gutka, and Guru Gobind Singh Shabd, which this little child of mine is saying, Prabhu ji to ko laaj hamari. You won't believe it. I couldn't stop my tears then, I can't stop them now. How lonely I was, how lonely I am, that's only my heart knows. And I did cry. You know what stopped me crying? When my tears make the gutka wet. And I had only one gutka. Then I worried about that. I said, these pages will go. People love you so that they can take a chunk out of you. This all emotional relationship has no reality. And I did see that dal, after when I didn't eat, was thrown away in the waste bin. It may not look to you what I'm telling you. You do not understand the impact of it. It's the greatest reality. This is how people play emotionally. And this is how people play with you. And it's all done in the name of relationship and love. I'm just trying to understand. Anyway, I read that Shabad myself. And I do remember I didn't have anything but one towel And I brought the towel and put the gutka in that and covered so that my tears may dry up. After that, I got into a permanent trouble because whenever I take a hukum from the gutka, Prabhuji Toko Laj Hamari, they will open up there because that towel did the trick. No other hukum will come. And for a long time, till that gutka remained with me, the hukum was always Prabhuji Toko Laj Hamari. There was nothing I could do. Because you have to close your eyes and you have to open the page, and it made a mind that it made his own mind that is going to open up there. Well, that was then. And I said to myself, Sal pathar mein jantu paye taga rijikar tarya. Oh Guru, you promised that in the stone, if you have created a life, then you provide food. And what the hell, you have forgotten your own words? Now you call it's not a prayer, right? But I tell you it worked. Telephone rang. And somebody, hey Bhajan, telephone. And I said, okay. And I came up, and on the telephone there was one yoga student of mine. She said, sir, where are you? I said, where I can be? I'm at home. Oh, I understand they didn't let you enter the house last night. I said, yeah, I slept in the car. It was pretty warm, no problem. Are you willing to move out? I said, no, I don't feel good because my whole body is stiffened up, and to be very honest, I have not eaten and I feel very weak. And she said, food is not the problem. I said, not for you. But as far as I'm concerned, it's the only problem at this time I'm facing. Oh, don't you eat your donut? I said, no, I told you that day. You told me they are so bad. You're the one who lectured me. And I said, all right, I won't eat donuts from today. And I said, I don't know what to eat. Because you go out and you ask for a bean soup and they say, well, it is made with beef, and this is made with chicken, and this is made with fish, and this is made with this. I mean, what you can eat? She said, tell me where you want to eat. I said, I just want to eat through the telephone. You understand? She said, well, I don't want to bring food to that house, but we got the food. So can you make up to the yoga center? I said, another 25 cents. Oh, that subway used to charge 25 cents between Church Road and where I was. And she said, well, everybody has found something which never ever will make you hungry again. I said, all right, if this is the situation, I'll come. And then I said to her, Prabhuji Toko Laj Hamari, God has just listened somewhere. And that prayer, Sal pathar mein jantu paye taka rijikage ka tarya, at least God has awakened itself. And I dragged myself to the substation, and that thing came, 24 cents. That 25 cents, that was the last 25 cents I had. I went to Church Road, dragged myself up, but I couldn't go for the stairs. It was cold, it was weak, and I was kind of dehydrated, and my whole night was in the car, and I think some gasoline or something got to my head. I couldn't know where north and south is. And I went to the ashram. And when I opened the ashram, they all jumped up and, great, great. You know, there was 9 types of pizzas sitting down there, all vegetarian and with different vegetables on it. And everybody brought Mexican food, which was totally prepared by their home. First time Canadians even went to the Indians' houses and brought food, because this story went out where I'm living, I'm not being fed, and I'm very weak. I do not recollect, and I don't want to exaggerate, but there was kind of about 20 dishes, I think, minimum. Believe me or not, I ate whole large pizza by myself. Now that Shabad was a prayer, and that was a taunt to the Guru. Eating pizza was ingratitude. accepting. And that is a prayer. People who are professional and they think that they can only pray professionally, they do not know what prayer is. Prayer is when your heart prays, not your head. When your head bows and your heart prays, that is a prayer of Sikh Dharma. Sikh Dharma does not talk hanky-panky and rituals. Sikh Dharma does not talk relationship. Our Guru and we read Guru talks and talks the same thing again and again. It's a relationship between sun and moon. Sun is stationary, moon weans and waxes. Ek purkha sagli painar, there is only one sun and everybody is a female around it. That practical lesson which Guru has given is in demonstration in our life. But if you think you love, last night I went to IGS and we were talking there. And I sat down. It was beautiful. I was saying how much they are putting out for the children and all that. And they did welcome when we took our Sikh Dharma Times and distributed to them. They were very obligated. And one gentleman, I think he's an army officer, and he saw me, and he has a very badly trimmed beard. I mean, he did it himself, and I don't think he knew what he was doing. So he was just a little out of shape because his one mustache was totally gone, another was a little bit there. And I don't know where he did it. It was just a ridiculous way of presenting his beautiful face. And he saw me from a distance and he started saying, "Asi ta ji papi hain, main ta papi hain, asi ta paap kamaune hain, I am a sinner and I am and I heard that about for a while and then I said, could you understand something? You don't want me to speak, right? But you are speaking across me to Mr. Bedi. Bedi is my friend and I know you who you are. I'm going to say, you have been in the army, remember? We met once in India. I was a uniform officer, you were a uniform officer. But he was shocked that my memory can go that far back. But anyway, I said to you, saying, I am a sinner. I said the biggest sin is when you do I. Sin is not you are a sinner or not, or you are a pious man or not. You say, I am a pious man, it is a sin too. He said the life is to let the I go. The biggest sin you are committing at this time is that you are saying, I am a sinner. I say, you are said 3-4 times. It's fine. But I just want to tell you, you are not a sinner. But anyway, Ardas finished and then food was going to be served and he said, are you going to eat? And I told my people, they brought special food. They said, well, he will have special food here. And I said, no, I'll eat langar today. Because it was a special prayer, I had to participate and I have to eat this langar. Then I said, well, would you please sit down here, langar will come here. And they said, no, this is not the rule here. And then I remember my prayer in Toronto. I said, no, now food comes. Please sit down. And believe it or not, in another 3 minutes, the food came. Everybody was served there. And they said, that man said, is it all your vibrations? I said, no, it's not my vibrations. God, I found out that I don't know how to ask for it. I say, for food now my stomach prays. I have stopped praying for it. And my stomach has become very tuned in that and he knows what it wants and he gets it. I say, I did tell you that all this food business around me is my stomach's problem, Agan Granthi. Agan Granthi tre chala, naad anaad sabhe hai. Karaj kaaj ke kaaj mein ant samay hai. Now in the scripture it says that this all molecules of element is all a psychic energy which produces and destroys itself, and before the end comes, it keeps working whether you work or not. And basically, Prayer is a very powerful aspect of Sikh Dharma, but not a special prayer. The most special prayer, the most special love, the most special understanding, the most powerful union, the perfect yoga in this dharma is when your heart prays, when your stomach prays. There are all these chakra. Each chakra prays if you let it. And this aspect has been taken away from Sikhs. The power and the science of Anga Sang Vaheguru has been taken away. Vaheguru has been put up on that 9th story and Sikh has been put up in the dungeon. And they say create the relationship. Now there is no such relationship. Every limb, every organ of the Sikh prays. It is the prayer of the stomach which brings you food, not your prayer. I mean, your ego must not mistreat it. Sometime when you pray and your prayer is not answered, you get frustrated. Are you praying, or that part which has to deal with it is also praying? I'm asking you a question. Find out the answer and let me know. Is that all of you is you and your conscious ego? Or you and your every part of the being which is a psyche in itself and it has its own frequency and an own code number and it has its own entry? That is why you create mistake and you mess up things, because you are calling from what they call it high frequency egomaniac situation and quote unquote I. And other people in you, like Mr. Stomach, Mr. Intestines, like Mr. Legs, like Lady Hands, like girl eyes, like boy nose, they have their own routine. Therefore, please understand, you are a combination of a teamwork which is called human body. It's not practical that your one self is total one self. So, something is beyond you, within you, which sleeps. Something beyond you, within you, which awakens. Recognize it. That is real. You are the shell of it. You are not real. Your Atman, your soul is real. Its being and its frequency is real. That's why in Sri Guru Granth, Guru talks with the mind, Guru talks with ears. He sarvano meryo sache sunne ko pathaye. He netro meryo har binaur. And if you read Ananda Sahib, you'll find Guru talks to even limbs. Because they are independent. He's asking them. If they don't have identity, why should Guru talk to them? If mind does not have its independent faculty, why Guru should talk to it? You only know how to put a shoe on the feet. Guru put everything on the feet. Har charan ke das hai. I am servant to the God's feet. And what is the God feet? Everybody's feet is the God's feet. Every foot is made in God. Shoes are made by Standard Shoe Company, but feet are not. Gloves are made by certain company, hands are not. Underwears and undershirts and shirts and suits and ties and bana is made by somebody. Body is not. Body is made in God. And the problem is you do not effectively even acknowledge it. And this is far away from Sikh teachings. Sikh teaching is Akal Murat. God speaks to you through people. God speaks to you through your limbs. God speaks to you through your ego. God speaks to you through your consciousness. God also speaks to you through intelligence. God has many channels to speak to you, but you are sleeping. You are like that king who slept on his throne and saw a dreadful dream. When woke up, he was king again. एक नरपत बैठा सोए सिंहासन. That Shabad which Ravidas has sang came also as a hukum. So please wake up. Wake up every part of you. Wake up your being. And if God has blessed you to be Sikhs, learn one thing: to be awake. Consciously be awake. There's only one relationship between you and light. The awakened self is enlightened self. Otherwise it's the darkest self. People who are angry and they are in love, they better not be in love and not be angry. If you are nagging, you are bitchy, you are stupid. You are wasting the most precious flow of life. You are scared, you are afraid, you are in paranoia, you are in emotions, you are in commotion. It's all waste of that most beautiful light of life which is called soul. It is Ajuni Saibhang. It's by itself in you and it emits self-light in you by its own grace. How you will recognize Guru Prasad? Through Guru's word you will recognize. And if you do not keep that relationship with Guru's words and your understanding, you will be far away from reality. So if in your rational self you have decided to enjoy life, to be healthy, to be happy, to be holy, to be the Sikhs of the Guru, stop playing games and wasting the most precious time which is called life. You know, you are just like those people who waste the entire time and then say, well, what should I do now? I have found out that all this anger and environments and all this is a pure, simple waste of time. Desire makes no sense. You may desire anything, but if the other person is desiring the same, frequencies are individual. They may connect, they may not connect. And while connect the frequency, last of life will be lost. God has given you life, it is your process, it is your proverb, it is your progress. Please keep it going that way. And that all is called prayer. Prayer is when from the heart, without camouflage, you say something. That's why Guru says, Manne ki gat kahi na ja, je ko kahe piche pachda. The one who obeys, his description cannot be given. If somebody even cares to describe it, he'll be sorry. He'll be sorry afterwards. And power of obedience is power of consciousness. Who's saying who? If your teacher is saying, are you a student? If your lover is saying, are you a beloved? If your man is saying, are you a woman? If God is saying, are you his creation? That decides. is not decided the way you want to decide it. And it is tested and understood at every moment of life. It cannot be decided the way you want to decide it. I tell you today, you will waste your life for the rest of life, and you will never benefit from it if you do not understand what I am saying today. What I am telling you is the relationship of obedience, of command, is established law of nature. It will not change. You have to understand and adapt it. What are you and whatever it is, if that frequency is the same frequency, you will have the strength to obey. If you are a Sikh, your Guru is saying it, is it done and understood? Relationship is established. But if you say, that's my man, and the man says, and you say, what? Forget it. Ifs and buts makes no sense in life. That's why nak nat khasam hat. The steering wheel is in the hand of the great master. Nak nat khasam hat. Kirt takke de, jahan dana, tahan khana, nanaka sache. These are the words of Guru Nanak, which is our Guru. Nak nat khasam hat. Like a camel has a nose string, that's in the hand of the master. Nak nat khasam hat. Kirt takke de. Our vibrations, kirt here means a creative vibration, our life. Takke means puts us, jerks us from here to there, there to there. Jahan dana taan khana. Wherever that food is written, there you are going to eat. Nanaka sache. Nanak says this is the truth. So what I'm trying to reach to you is, prayer is the power, and prayer is the project, and prayer is the projection, and prayer is the purity of life. But why then prayer doesn't work? Because ang, we have so many angs. We have 10 trillion cells. Each cell has 3 parts of it. So let us say in body there are 10 trillion cells. They all have to join in your prayer. Otherwise your ego makes no sense. And that's the work to be done. That's the job to be done. So if you belong to the master, then obey the master. And master is the consciousness. Master is the words of the Guru. Master is that which has no mystery around. The law of life is obey, serve, love and accept. And this is the law of life of the Guru's word. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa.
कलम न लेखन हारे मन ने खा बेकरन विचार ऐसा नाम मनोरंजन होय जे को मन जाने मन को ऐसा नाम मनोरंजन होय जे को मन जाने मन को Manne suratove manabut Manne sagala bhavan ki sut Manne mohe jodana manne jam के साथ न जाए सा नाम मनोरंजन होय जे को मान जाने मन कोय सा नाम मनोरंजन होय जे को मान जाने मन कोय Barkat jai manne magna chale pant manne dharam seti sanband sa naam manoranjan hoy je ko maan jane man koy sa naam manoranjan hoy je ko जाने मन को मन्ने पाले मोक द्वार मन्ने पारवारे सदा मन्ने तरे तारे गुसी मन्ने नानक भवन बिक